Hey, everybody. How is everybody going? Welcome to the first podcast of the 2023-2024 season, focusing on the Texas League, but talking about all things fantasy football. I am one of your hosts, Dwayne Debo Morrow, coach of the Devastator team, along with my co-host, one I can't say with the most because he is a Sparklers fan, but he has a PhD, so we still give him extra credit for being super smart. Introduce yourself.
I'm Rob Caldwell, Chargers fan for life, down with the Raiders. That's how we do it. I don't know why he hating on me because I know how to tell time, and I'm going to leave it at that.
And our other co-host, the founder and commissioner of this league. Tell him who you are.
As he said, I'm the founder and commissioner and the only one on this podcast who's won a championship. Actually, I got three, one for
Oh,
each of us. I'm holding it
oh,
down until one
oh,
of y'all
that,
wins one.
He's
that's
starting
where we
early.
start. I love it. I love when we start the season like this.
I just
Didn't
had,
you
you
lose
know,
by
I
point
just,
zero 0.03 points to me?
you are correct. I did lose to you by point three. That also led to 1, 2, 3 championships. Which
Oh,
Anyway,
that's what
you
we
don't have
all.
any in fantasy. The Chargers don't have any championships. Come
he,
on,
He
he,
cutting deep.
the fact
He
he is. You know
he
what? I got
cut.
hair, so I don't care. Anyway,
Oh,
that's because I can grow my hair out. I just don't. My hair grows. I just shave it because I'm lazy.
I don't know. You might have to prove him wrong. You might have to grow it out. Let
right?
us see. The proof is in the pudding. Because listen, I do know a brother who used to say the same thing. When he was in his 30s, he used to be like, man, I just shaved my head. Brother tried to grow it out a couple of years ago. He was shocked and surprised. He realized
Oh,
that
I
shaving his
I
head was
was
no
ahead of
longer
the
a
curve.
choice.
Oh, I've been shaving my head since high school because I was lazy, and Michael Jordan made it cool to be bald. Then I went to
There you
college. I'm like, I'm gonna grow my hair out. Old ass Bill Snyder was talking about no do rags, no wave caps. I'm like, I don't even grow my hair out and get these waves. Get them messed up by this helmet. I'm like, I'm gonna keep being lazy.
Ain't nothing wrong with
you
that.
know,
All
I grew
right.
it. I grew it out during the pandemic because I had to go nowhere.
Fair enough. Well, we didn't know about it back then, so until we see photographic proof, we still say we're gonna need to see something.
go.
But yeah, so welcome to our podcast. This is where we come and discuss the ups and downs of our league, and we take a look at trends across the NFL and see how things are going. So right about now across the country over the last month or so and leading all the way up probably until next Wednesday before the season kicks off, teams everywhere are drafting. My phone was blowing up even earlier today. A good friend of mine texted me, and I know what time of year it is. So when she says, "Hey, Big D," my response was, "What kind of fantasy question you got for me?" And she was like, "I hate you." I said, "That's because you love me." But yeah, so we try to share our knowledge to the best of our abilities. Because despite not winning the championship, I am still a knowledgeable and veteran fantasy football player, and I've won
Even though you're a
championships,
Raiders
just
fan,
not in
don't hold that
just not
against
in
them.
this league. So just because I haven't won this league yet doesn't mean I'm not a champion. Because I am tried and true on these
How
fantasy
about you? You're a champion that appointing other people to win because you didn't brought two people in who have won
Yeah, he did
championships.
bring in two ringers. That's true.
You just haven't. He does. He brought two people in that one championship. He
Listen,
just hasn't been fortunate enough to win one.
I run in fantasy championship circles. That's all I'm saying. But I'm just trying to
There we go.
close on one myself. But all right. So Jared, you got something for us, right?
Yeah, I listen to a podcast weekly where the guy asks just a random question on the topic. So I'm gonna do that every week. The question for the week for you two gentlemen is, as you said in your intro, right about now everybody's doing their fantasy drafts for their different leagues. We've already had our draft in this league, but I'm sure you got some more drafts left to go. In a 12-team league, what do you feel is the best position to draft from and why?
Ooh, that is a good question. I choose to go second. I'm gonna defer to the man with the spreadsheet plan.
Are you saying which order I want to draft in, or what position I want to draft in? Because you're gonna get two different answers.
What draft position do you want to draft from?
In the standard snake draft?
Standard snake draft.
Well, since statistically you would think you would want to be somewhere in the middle, so around 6 or 7. Because this way you can see what's happening in front of you and what's happening behind you, and you can plan accordingly. You're always in the same spot every single round, so you can plan for it. That being said, if you can win the league and then trade up to one of the higher picks, that would be more ideal as well. But since I don't have that experience quite yet, about the winning part anyway, I've picked in the top 3 a few times, but that's not relevant for this question. I would have to say statistically, probably the 5th or 6th pick would probably be the best, because you're still going to get a solid running back if you're smart. You're still going to get a solid running back with your first pick, because we all know that's where the bulk of the points are going to come from. Whatever quarterback you want will probably be available that 2nd round in the middle yet again. So I would probably say 5th or 6th. Mr. Morrow, what do you say?
And I concur. I was going to say either if you're in the top 3rd, 4th, or 5th, or pick somewhere around 8th or 9th. I think being in that 5 through 7 spot, that I think it kind of puts you at a disadvantage, because you're more dependent on the picks in front of you. Like if you got a top 3 or 4 pick, your picks are basically laid out, because usually the top 3 to 5 players are pretty evident. But a lot of people, once you get to that 6, 7, 8 spot, they start taking swings, because they look and they say, ooh, I don't pick again. I mean, again, it's for everyone. I don't pick again for, 12 picks. So instead of going conventional and either going running back or wide receiver right there, they may try to jump out on a limb and grab a QB super early. And so it's going to weaken them later on, because when it's time. So even if you go, so let's say you go Mahomes in the 1st round, by the time the picks get back to you, there's no running backs left. Like if with the way the game is now, 32 teams, 32 starting running backs, but the passing games now limit the top tier running backs to about 12 to 15. They're going to get the volume carries for efficiency for a running back to be the most effective. And even when you look at those, you got to cut it down to now PPR leagues, which running backs are also good receivers. Because if you've got just a bruiser, now you got a running back that's losing a carry every series, being replaced on 3rd down. So, yeah, I mean, in the end, despite what NFL owners seem to think about the importance of quarterback, fantasy owners still know the relevance of, owners seem to think about running backs. Fantasy owners still know the importance of the running back when it comes to scoring points.
Can I pose a question to you two gentlemen? Give Colin a chance to answer something.
Sure.
All right. So keeping with the same theme, do you think it's advantageous, or do you think it's productive to draft a tried and true running back, or a kid fresh out of college that has potential in, say, the 3rd round?
That's kind of a double-edged sword. It depends on if this tried and true running back is somebody like a Derrick Henry, who's bigger. Like his first couple of years, Derrick Henry wasn't that guy. He wasn't the bell cow. So he didn't have the wear and tear on his body. So later in his career, he's been running people over. He doesn't have the injury history of some of these other running backs, like your boy Dalvin Cook seems to get hurt every year, because he's been that guy since day one. Christian McCaffrey came in out of college and was good for 2 solid years, because he was, he hadn't been taking a pounding of some of these other backs. But then after a couple of years, he took some injuries. He in San Francisco, and they not loading him up on carries and catches like he was in Carolina. So it's a case-by-case basis. Derrick Henry, even at Alabama, with all that talent, wasn't running for 3 and 4 years consecutive. So it depends on what this running back coming
He
out of
basically
college.
became a starter. He basically became a starter the year he won the Heisman. That was the only year that he carried the load.
Yeah.
He was behind DeMarco Murray for his first 2 years in the league.
Yeah. So you're going to get somebody out of college like Derrick Henry who didn't tote the rock, but sparingly his first couple of years and toted it his senior year or his last year. Give him a shot versus some of these tried and true running backs in the league who, before things went super pass heavy, was still getting like 200 carries a season. And now some of them getting 300. So the teams that just want to minimize the exposure of a quarterback killing them. So for me, it's a case-by-case basis. I prefer the tried and true running back, but I would not be opposed to the running back coming out of college if they haven't been carrying the ball heavy for 3 years.
And I would say it depends on where they are on the depth chart and their skill set. So you take a rookie running back like Bijan Robinson, who's going to a team that, despite the effectiveness of Cordell Patterson for the last couple of years, he's not a traditional running back. He's been their weapon, and they've been able to use his skills, but we already know that they drafted him to put a true running back in that position. And I'm blanking on his name right now. The Jets running back that was their rookie running back that was showing out. So you bring in the veteran. Yes, Breece Hall. Thank you. So you bring in, so that was a surprise, right? But then you look 2 years ago with like a Najee Harris coming to Pittsburgh, and 3 years ago with Josh Jacobs going to Las Vegas. Those backs were stepping into starting roles on their teams. And so with their skill sets being able to both run and catch the ball, they were worth a 3rd round pick because, again, touches, the stat that above all matters the most from running backs is touches. When it comes to a receiver, wide receiver, or tight end, it's targets. The more you get the ball, the more the opportunity you have the ball, the more opportunity you have to score points. So you look at, like, even this year, right? Like Miami has a great local running back from Houston, Devon Achane, speedster, but he's mostly going to be used on return and special teams this year. Don't know what that's going to mean for the future, but he definitely has a skill set that will eventually get him on the field. But that's going to be more of a free agent thing to see how it happens. But for the most part, rookie running backs, I would say only if they're RB1 on the depth chart would I take a flyer on them that high in the draft.
Mm-hmm.
Excellent question. So, but just before we jump into, since we're talking about running backs, very interesting summer for NFL running backs between contract negotiations, contract holdouts, franchise tags. And this is something that we've seen over the last few years. Why do you think that NFL franchises are devaluing running backs the way they have?
Well, it kind of goes to, in my opinion, I think it kind of goes to what you were talking about earlier, to where most running backs are losing touches because we're throwing it more. And so unless the running back has enough hands to actually catch the ball, like a little screen pass or something, they're starting to lose out. So I think owners are looking at like, okay, well, where's my money now going? I paid all this money for this hyped up quarterback. I need to see this cat throw or take off and run by himself. So it's all like, more quarterbacks are now running the ball. Why do I need to pay this running back all this money? Unless my quarterback doesn't have a strong enough arm, then I was like let's take Derrick Henry, for example. Hey, I still got to rely on this cat to take 60% of my load because my quarterback, is what it is. But I'm trying to be nice about it, So,
hey, listen.
And so that's what I think.
Tannehill, he is who he is. Mm-hmm. That team's bread is still buttered on the Derrick Henry loaf, period.
Yes. What you think, Colin?
You said it fairly well because there's a stat that I heard somebody say not too long ago. I can't remember exactly. And basically, it says no team. I think it's no team in the last 10 years has won a Super Bowl with a first round running back or something. Which basically means you ain't gotta have a running back to win the game. You gotta have a quarterback, and you gotta have some wide receivers.
So what you're saying is the Chargers have a good chance of winning this year, is what you're telling me.
That's absolutely not what anybody's saying. Let us clear this up for the rest of the season. No one except for you is ever saying that the Chargers have a good chance of winning the Super Bowl. I won't believe that the Chargers won the Super Bowl until they actually visit the White House after the Super Bowl. I don't care if it's zeros on the clock. Until they hand a Super Bowl jersey to the president, whoever is the president in the White House at that time,
I'll be the president at that time.
You have a better chance of being president if they haven't won in the Super Bowl.
Damn. Anyway, that escalated quickly.
Well,
I'm just saying.
No,
All right. So I know we're going to do a separate thing where we do a whole lot of in-depth analysis of our league's picks team by team, but I didn't think it was right without us doing just a little bit of poking fun at our fellow Texas League participants. So let's start with the ChatGPT AI generated draft day. Let's go with the draft grades. First of all, we have a wide spread of grades. We had 3 teams with an A, 2 with the B, 2 with a C, 3 with the D, including 2 of your hosts, and 1 with a big fat failure. So let's just take a look at the top teams that got A pluses. 2 Boobs, 2 Balls, and Muff Divers. Deuce, talk to us about 2 Boobs, 2 Balls, and you don't have to say necessarily if you agree with that grade or not, but how do you think they did in their draft?
A plus might be a little bit of a stretch. I mean, I haven't taught in like 16 years, so I know my teaching skills might be a little off. But unless they get a participation trophy for that A plus, I don't see the A plus. I might give them a B, give them some room to work. Maybe even a B plus because they got some pretty solid picks here. But if anybody thinks Connor is going to do something this year, I don't know what the hell they thinking. Because let's be real. Look, see who he plays with. Arizona. All we know for is heat. We ain't known for wins. We ain't known for letting the running back run the damn ball. Let's just keep this shit real. No. I mean, I'm sorry to say it like that, but no. That's where they dropped the letter grade right there. They went from an A plus to a B plus right there with that damn James Conner. I mean, the rest, Miami's defense, okay. I mean, I guess you had to pick somebody. He was running out of picks. I'm like, you know what? Let's just pick Miami because I like the way it's spelled. I don't know. They was doing their own thing. So you know what? I respect their game, but an A plus? Nah, bro. I don't know what school system they in, but it damn sure ain't a public one. So
I would have to do some concurring. Like I'm looking at Drake London in the 4th round, Connor in the 3rd.
Okay.
Jared Goff.
Here's something
10th.
that I think. Yeah. But here's the thing I don't think ChatGPT is taken into consideration. We're a keeper league. So think about all of us should have got a bump because we got keepers at the end of the draft, and that's a massive ADP jump. So do they get a massive jump for Jared Allen and A.J. Brown at the end? No, I'm not. No, don't get me wrong. I'm still not agreeing with this A plus grade. Let me make sure I make that clearly known.
We might have to go back. If that's the case,
for that?
If that's the case, we need to go back to putting the keepers at the front of the draft. Because I you know what, that's a great point. Because if they're giving them a bump because they got Josh Allen in the 16th round, yeah, I'd give them an A plus too. If you
Yeah, they get an A+ and that jumps out.
If you somehow managed to get Josh Allen in the 16th round of the draft, yes, you would deserve A+ because that means that you had a pistol on the other members of the draft to keep them from drafting Josh Allen.
No, see, I'm trying to because I'm looking at the ADP analysis, and it only goes around 1 through 14, so maybe they'll take that in consideration. And I really don't understand what.
Oh, then that's just then ain't no excuse for that.
You know, I was trying to fathom it, but I can't do it.
What about all right, Jared? Talk to us about your good friend Adams auto draft Jim.
What is there to talk about? ChatGPT rated him highly because he didn't make one pick. He auto drafted, so he loved ChatGPT made all his picks. Of course, they gonna rank. Who gonna talk bad about themselves? That's what we got here. That is it in a nutshell. So because his team is no, the keepers are solid, but I don't know about some of these other players. It says his best draft pick is Evan Ingram. How you gonna have an A+ team? Your best draft pick is Evan Ingram. I'm not like, no.
Man.
He got CD Lamb, which sounds like a good. I'm looking at his team. He has some solid players. I'll give him that. CD Lamb, Chris Olave, Breece Hall, solid players. A+? No.
Miles Sanders, I don't know about a solid player, but okay, I'll play.
Oh, I'm sorry. I guess I should ask. Should I put these up on should I put these up on the screen for people to see? You think that'd be helpful?
You know what? It just might.
Let me see.
Because they probably ain't got other monitors like we got looking at different things at the same time.
Yeah, let's do that.
I mean, I'm down to just 3 monitors for this, so I apologize. I didn't get that 4th one plugged in.
Just down to 3.
Right.
Don't start.
You peasant. Only 3 monitors. You peasant.
I know I'm living like a commoner right now. I see how y'all live.
I only got 2.
So here's Muff Diver's team right here, y'all. So yes, he did come up on the Justin Jefferson, Lamar Jackson keepers. Like those are excellent. But if we're still judging this off of, the rounds 1 through 14, I mean, they gave themselves an A+ and drafted this man 2 kickers and 2 defenses. What kind of bull cocky is that?
And taking San Francisco in the 6th round? I mean, I know I took a kicker early, but San Francisco in the 6th?
We're going to get to that. Believe in me.
Please put a sticky note on that one because I want to talk about that later. Oh no,
we don't talk about that. 100% coming back to your kicker decision early on.
Oh no,
but all right, Stairway to Evans, who is our co-host and a 3-time champion, received a grade of a B. So let's take a look at his results now. If I remember correctly, you kept 2, Cooper Kupp and Austin Eckler, which are excellent keepers. Now,
I kept 3.
You did keep 3.
I kept 3.
You did keep Mark Andrews. Yes, so Mark Andrews, great keeper. He's been Lamar Jackson's favorite target over the last couple of years. Cooper Kupp, if he's back healthy, you already know what he can do. And Austin Eckler, since he couldn't get paid, got a little bit of money. So at least we know he's going to be on the field for one of the higher powered offenses in the league. See, I said something nice about the punk ass Chargers.
I seen that.
I am concerned about your quarterback situation.
Yeah, Justin Fields, I was just going to say that.
I know that everyone expects Justin Fields to come out and make the jump. I know that Fields, his arm and more so his legs, make him attractive. The Bears have been a shit show. And so can they even have an offensive line in place that's good enough to even give the man a chance to run? Because he's been running for his life. But
he has. Did you watch his preseason performances, though?
I did. But preseason performances, it's against dudes that's the best.
Let the receivers get loose.
Sure. And how often does the old school Oilers run and shoot work in the modern game, I guess we'll find out.
Well, here's the
see.
funny thing. I distinctively remember last year during one of these podcasts, we had a certain co-host. I can't remember who it was, but he distinctively said over and over again, if you draft somebody on the Bears, don't expect them to get any points because Justin Fields is throwing to them. Do y'all remember who that was?
Oh, we know exactly who it was.
Now, what did you just say? Don't expect anyone that Justin Fields throws the ball to get you any points. Look on my roster and find any of his receivers.
he just pulled the red from Friday on us.
Right.
Oh, that was different.
Right.
Where are the like I said, I don't have three monitors like you, but if I'm not mistaken, I'm gonna look into this. Justin Fields, while running for his life, was a top 5 quarterback last year.
Let's just see his fantasy stats from 2022. 2,200 yards.
Pedestrian.
2,200 yards passing.
Very pedestrian.
1,100 yards.
Yeah, that's 1,000 yards.
But
yeah, and I respect that. And his 8 touchdowns.
25 total touchdowns.
You know, those 11 picks get a little disconcerting.
You know,
because don't we get minus points for picks if I remember correctly?
We absolutely get minus points for picks.
Okay,
that's starting this year, if I'm not mistaken. Did that start last year?
No, it started last year.
Okay, because you know, you can't.
Remember, I was winning one game, we're going back through a pick, and I lost.
Yeah, that sucketh. That doth sucketh, my friend. Yes. So your team is, and your other option currently is Danny Dimes. Now, Danny Dimes just got paid, which means, again, it's also a gamble. So you making the same gamble that the Giants themselves made in giving him that contract based on 3 years of and 1 good year and 1 playoff victory. So it was enough for the Giants. Looks like it's enough for a commissioner. Mm-hmm. All right. So the other team that got a B is the idiotically named Edcorn. I don't care how cool the story is behind the name sucks. It's a stupid ass name, and I will stand on that forever. His team.
Why are you playing him like that? Why are you playing him like that?
I've told him I'm not saying nothing that I haven't said to his face. This team name is horrible, and I wish he'd fix it. But since he knows I can't stand it, he's definitely going to keep it just the way it is. So he has the great wide receiver combo that he kept with Chase and Diggs. Like, I think he's been riding that combo for 3 years now on those keepers, but he's not going to be happy. Now, see, this is almost his fault that we're now going to be bringing up Dak Prescott for the umpteenth time today, because unlike everybody else on ESPN, we actually have a reason for it. Dak is a productive quarterback, but it seems like it doesn't show up in the stats, because when you look, now we got you can almost see rookie, decent. Zeke was still running. Boom, contract. Injured. Boom, playoff loss. Boom, injured most of the year. So no one knows what they're going to get out of Prescott. If you take him at his average, and again, not that I'm going to pretend, but 3,500 yards, if you can get 3,500 yards, to 3,500 to 4,000 yards and 25 touchdowns out of them, hey, that's a great gamble. But the question becomes, is he going to be that Dak? I think that the days of Dak running the ball are pretty much shot. So you're not even looking for any on the ground yards anymore. But what do you guys think about Dak's? Actually, let's talk about both his quarterbacks. Dak and
Mr. Massage himself.
Dak and Mr. Lover.
Right. Oh, Mr. Lover. Okay, we're going with that one. My only concern with the Cowboys and that offense is when your head coach goes, we need to slow down the game. My defense is getting tired. It leads me to think you're going to run the ball more. Are you going? They gonna slow it down? They gonna run it more? If you slowing down the game, your production goes down. You might cut down on them interceptions though, because
Right.
he's known to mess up a drive with a ill-timed interception. He's still not Jameis Winston bad, but that's a whole
But who is?
other level of competence.
I mean, literally, who is?
Brett Favre in his prime.
Yeah, and Jameis
Even
definitely
Brett
ain't no
Favre might
Brett
not be that
Favre.
bad.
Although they both have a history of criminal behavior.
Ooh, damn. I won't even go in there, but all right.
Hey, take it to trial is what Brett says. But I think that early on in the season we're going to see Deshaun as his QB1
Or so.
because
Yeah.
a healthy Deshaun with a full off season and decent weapons. I mean, Deshaun Watson, what he did in Houston with you can't name nobody besides Nuke that was in Houston with Deshaun Watson. And yet somehow he still put up
Will Fuller.
ridiculous yards. Boy, hush.
You said I couldn't do it. There it is, Will Fuller. That's the only other person I can think of. Brandon Cook was there for a year.
Boy, stop. Brandon Cooks is still recovering from that hit from 5 years ago. Brandon Cooks don't even know he was in Houston.
Brandon Cook's out here taking flights.
Exactly. I didn't even think you could get a pilot license with that kind of concussion history. But anyway, let's take a look at our defending champion, DBT Kirkwood, whose accidental pick of Christian McCaffrey last year during the draft paid off big time all the way to a championship.
I remember we were all sitting there just clowning him like, dude, what the
Well, here's the
now
thing.
he came from the other room. Like, dude, I thought you said you were gonna get him.
That's the part. So it's not that we were clowning the pick because some of us in the room said, hey, if he's there when I have a chance to pick, I might take him. But the fact that Chris was adamant about not taking him and he ended up riding him all the way to a championship, that was just, I know it's not irony, but it was just a head scratcher and it gave you a chuckle. Now, once again, if we're looking at this roster, Chris has done what Chris does. Who sees a recurring theme on his roster that we usually see?
The wide receivers?
No, not just the wide receivers.
Oh, the Pittsburgh Steelers?
Yes.
The Pittsburgh Steelers and the
Ride or dying by his damn team.
I mean, 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 Steelers. I mean,
I would just like to say he said that he said the Pittsburgh defense pick was not on purpose.
Okay.
He said, man, my wife. He said my wife came home from happy hour or something, and she was talking to me, and I lost track of it. I'm like, okay, and they just picked the Pittsburgh defense.
Actually, okay. I'm gonna say 6 Pittsburgh Steelers since I see Juju Smith-Schuster on there.
Right.
Even though he's on the Patriots now, he's still.
I was going to ask y'all, do you think Juju's going to be the Juju of old in the Patriots system, or is he just going to just be a background player?
The problem is he ain't got nobody to throw him the ball. Mac Jones is not a good quarterback. Like they cut Bailey Zapp. I'm like Bailey's like, really? I got cut? You keeping it with Mac Jones? That's who you rolling with? We're basically the same person. Either keep us both or cut us both. But it makes no sense that Mac Jones is still the quarterback of the New England. I mean, at this point, the hoodie has to be thinking to himself, there's got to be some kid that's 3rd string at West East Minnesota State Tech that's going to be coming out next spring that Bill has his eyes on, that he's going to turn into the next Tom Brady. He's going to take him in the 15th round of the supplemental draft. And all of
he's going to take Josh Howard from K-State. Like, look, this is what I need you to do.
I mean, that's the only thing I can think of because, or he's just like, hey, F it, defense. Just go win us some football games.
Right.
Because the fact of the matter is, despite what Zeke Elliott said about the Patriots' commitment to running the football being his main reason for signing with them, what else could they possibly do? Like, Matt, look at your division. When was the last time the Patriots were basically picked to be fourth in their division? And not good. And like, there's between Miami, the Jets, Buffalo, and New England. They have the weakest quarterback by far. And no wide receivers that make you, because despite Juju's Super Bowl victory and refrain from TikTok videos, he's still not that guy that's going to make you fear him on the football field. So I don't know what the Patriots' offensive identity is going to be this season. So that's going to be interesting.
I think they finish at 500 or just under 500. That's just my thinking.
I see them shutting Mac Jones down at some point during the season.
In week 4?
You think it's going to take that long?
Yeah, I think they'll give them until week 4.
Maybe. So
and there might be a bye week in between there.
Right. So just to keep it fair, Math is King, I will let you review my D-graded picks.
All right. I'm okay with your keepers. I mean, I don't know what Taylor's going to do since nobody likes him in Indianapolis, apparently. But, I respect keeping them because, hey, they might let him run. That Jimmy Garoppolo pick made me spit my water out. But you know what? I get it. It's at the end, and it's your Las Vegas Raiders, the punk motherfuckers. But I get it. I get that you have to keep your loyalty. So I respect that, even though you high as a kite by picking Jimmy G. But that being said, I actually like some of your picks. Keep in mind I said some. Apparently, you want to talk about Kirkwood being, I'm going to still call Juju because he used to be a Pittsburgh Steeler. Darren Waller. I wonder where he came from. Really, bro? Isn't that the pot calling the kettle black? I'm just throwing it out there. I'm just saying. So, by my count, you got 1, 2, 3, 4 Raiders on your team. Isn't that what Chris had? Just saying.
Chris had 5.
Oh, my bad. Chris had. Oh, no, because he said that defense doesn't count. His wife came to the crib. He got confused. He said it didn't count. So y'all even.
The defense say Pittsburgh. The defense say Pittsburgh. I'm gonna go Pittsburgh.
But look, I like Josh Jacobs.
I would like to defend. When you're finished, I would like to defend 2 of those particular picks.
I like the Josh Jacobs pick, especially since he's gonna play. We know he's going to get the rock, so we know he's going to run. DK Metcalf, tall cat. They're going to throw the ball up. Geno Smith's going to do his thing and get him the rock. Aaron Rodgers, I mean, damn, what can I say? It's Aaron Rodgers in a Jets uniform, which is going to be a little weird. It's like seeing Brett Favre in the freaking Vikings uniform. It's going to be weird, but you know what? He's going to do what he do. Gabe Davis is not a bad pick at all. Darren Waller can kick rocks. I mean, Cortland Sutton. Anybody on Denver? Bruh, who the hell's throwing for them? You gonna say Denver Broncos, let's ride? Let's ride all the way to the house because we ain't doing nothing. I think you got a solid defense. I think you will finish better than the huh? What'd you say?
The question is, I actually like the Cortland Sutton pick only because tell me who the healthy wide receivers are in Denver.
Cortland Sutton is the healthy wide receiver. Jerry Jeudy.
You gotta throw the ball. Jerry Jeudy got a hamstring. Some other dude tore his ACL or something.
Yes, one of them.
Like who's healthy?
So
they're gonna get some fans to come in to catch the rock. I don't know.
So, if anything, we know with their new head coach with Sean Payton had a quarterback that produced multiple 5,000-yard seasons. Sean Payton likes to throw the ball. Yeah. Somebody got to catch it. It's just like when Kevin Love was in Toronto and everybody thought that he was a very good basketball player. Somebody got to score the damn points. It's the NFL. Somebody on this team is going to have 1,000 yards receiving this season.
Rushing, you mean?
No.
It's going to be freaking Russell Wilson.
No. I said receiving. Somebody Somebody on Denver's team is going to have 1,000 yards receiving this season. It's going to be ugly. It's going to be, you're going to look up and be like, damn, how did Cortland Sutton have 108 catches for 1,200 yards? Because he was the only one open.
Right. Russell wasn't going to have a 2,000-yard rushing season because he ain't going to throw the ball. He's going to be running for his life.
The Josh Jacobs pick, with me picking 6th and looking at the needs of the teams in front of me, I thought that there was no way that Josh Jacobs was actually going to fall to me at the 6th pick. I could not pass up that caliber of running back with the scarcity of running backs, knowing the production at the running back position that he has. I couldn't pass it up. That was not about him being a Raider. That was about him being the best fit and the best need. And then also,
and I respect that. I respect that because I was going to draft him till I remember he played on the Raiders. I'm like, nope.
And then also remembering that this whole situation with Jonathan Taylor was still in flux. I was really excited when I thought he was going to Miami because that was really going to make things look better. Now, again, the Michael Mayer pick, right? I'm going to apply the same thing to receivers and tight ends that I said about running backs. He's tight end 1 in an offense that throws the ball to the tight end. So again, that pick, I think that's going to pay off for me.
Okay, but who's going to throw him the ball?
Let's go to pick number 13.
Yeah, let's go to pick number 13. Who's going to throw him the ball?
I just needed to have a backup quarterback. I mean, Aaron Rodgers, of course, is going to shoulder. Exactly. Aaron Rodgers is going to shoulder the load, but I'd rather have Jimmy G sitting on the bench behind him, much like he did for his beginning of his career for Tom Brady, and just waiting to fill in for that 1 week, than have to try to dig into crates during the season to grab somebody. So was it a little bit of?
I'm willing to put $5 right now, saying that he takes Jimmy G out of his lineup. And he's going to put somebody else that 1 week Aaron Rodgers is out. $5 right now. Who's in?
I mean, I do it just to win the $5 because I'm petty.
Yeah, okay, that's fair. All right, no, then you can't be in Calvin. What you say?
Wow. Side note, the New England Patriots did sign Bailey Zappi to the practice squad. Just thought I'd throw that out there.
Exactly. Like I said.
Along with Malik Cunningham. They have 2 quarterbacks on the practice squad.
Exactly.
Just want to throw that out there.
The Mac Jones era is coming very soonly to an end. Don't believe the hype. All right. So, Jared, go ahead and break down Mathis King's degraded draft.
Oh. No, as he said, he got his one keeper, Dalvin Cook, who is, I believe Aaron Rodgers took a pay cut to make sure that he could get a running back he trusts in there. I think when you see somebody twice a year, you'd be like, yeah, let me get that guy. They never played together, but he saw him twice a year. So he's like, yeah, go get him. That's what I'm thinking. That's why he took that pay cut. Derrick Henry, solid running back. If Deuce can make it to the playoffs,
that is an understatement.
Very solid running back. If Deuce can get in the playoffs, he got Derrick Henry versus the Texans twice.
Wow.
You showed me a game that Derrick Henry didn't go over 100 plus yards against the Texans.
200 yards.
Yeah. Okay. That man gets a quarter of his yardage every season against the Texans.
In 2 games.
But you know what? This might be the year that changes with a new head coach who's defensive minded, but we'll see.
Have you seen the Texans? Hold on. We got to stick a quarter right there. Have you seen what running backs have done to the Texans defense in the preseason?
Yes, I have. I was trying to be nice. Damn it, no time to be nice. Keep it real. They thought, okay, move on. You know, we got Devonta Smith with Jalen Hurts. Throw it up, let him go run. He's about 160. He ain't very big, but he'll go down and he'll run past some people. And this is what I told a Cowboys fan this at work. He looked at me like I was crazy. I'm like, everybody is hyping up the Cowboys. I said, oh man, we got Stephon Gilmore. That's true. I told him when Devonta Smith run by him, he got a problem. I'm like, Gilmore is that cornerback that's big. He's the bigger cornerback. He's physical. he don't do real well with smaller dudes that don't fly by him. And then the other cornerback, Diggs, is the king of he boom and bust. He gonna get you a pick or get burnt.
It ain't no in between.
Mike Williams, ain't no in between for him. Mike Williams, when he healthy, he good. When his health is based on how many times he jump up and try to moss somebody and fall out awkwardly. You know, that boy get hurt a lot. When he healthy, he good. Sunshine, I can't lie, I wanted Sunshine on my team, but that's okay. You beat me to him, moving on. He was one of the quarterbacks I had high hopes for this year. Didn't make it. Brandon Ayuk, another boom and bust receiver. Pat Freiermuth, only here because Chris didn't get to him first. He probably wanted it. He probably did.
He had him last year.
Of course he wanted him. He did. He probably wanted him. You just beat him to it. We ain't gonna talk about this. We ain't gonna talk about this kicker.
Oh, we're absolutely gonna talk about the
seventh
kicker.
round. I'm sorry.
We're absolutely gonna talk about this kicker in the 7th round. Now's the time to do that.
You know what? Justin Tucker he's the kicker. If you gonna go early on the kicker, Justin Tucker is that guy. I wouldn't have done it. But you know what? Your team, you can do with it as you please. Adam Thielen, he's an older receiver, but you got a young quarterback. He probably gonna lock in on the guy he knows, the guy he trusts, and I think that might be Adam Thielen. Because can anyone tell me who the tight end is? Normally, it's the running back and the tight end for a young quarterback. Who is the tight end in Carolina?
Nobody knows.
Nobody knows.
Everyone knew it would be Debo. Debo knows all the tight ends. So.
Even I don't know that.
Yeah,
one.
he's a tight end guru. Samaje P. Ryan. Does anyone know if Williams is fully healthy? They say he's supposed to be ready for week 1. If he's not, Samaje P. Ryan.
Yeah, they said
going to get some carries and be on.
They say Williams is good to go. They were just holding him back in preseason out of precaution, but that he should be good to go. And
shout out to he's 100%.
Again, this is just what the reports were.
We're gonna find out.
And again, so shout out to my distant cousin by family relation, Samaje P. Ryan, doing big things.
Zeke Elliott, I think we're gonna give him the ball to keep it out of the hands of Mac Jones, who we all agree is not that guy. Of course, he got the Chargers defense. Of course, because
let's throw something in here.
If you don't have it.
Yeah, let's throw something in here, sir. You talking about other people at home cooking. I see the Chargers defense. Mike Williams.
Don't worry. I was about to go there.
Go right ahead. Go right ahead.
There's only 3 by my count. So there's only 3 by my count, so I don't hear it.
We got Mike Williams. We got the Chargers defense.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you do only have 3 because I'm gonna count Hunter Henry because he was there.
Absolutely counting Hunter Henry.
So you got 3.
See,
it's not the 5 of Mr. Kirkwood. It's not even 4 like the other co-hosts. It is what it is.
All I'm saying is his
house. I got a couple bucks on my team.
His house not be as glass, but it ain't so solid that he can throw stones.
Now, can we be petty and add Matthew Stafford because he play in the same stadium?
Nah.
Look, I just got it for that 1 week. I got it for that 1 week. Sunshine's out, then he's out.
Man, you definitely don't want to have a quarterback who just came out on a report this week talking about, I don't even know who these kids are. Like he said he had to have a team assistant create a Facebook of his own wide receivers to figure out who the hell he's throwing the ball to. I think
damn shame.
You know what that means to me? He gonna throw the ball to Cooper Kupp. He know the hell he is.
Okay. If you're Matthew Stafford, right? You labored all those years in Detroit. You got a whole bunch of passing yards. You probably were not going to be in the Hall of Fame, but you got your 1 Super Bowl now. And when you get the benefit of the doubt for being on a sucky team for all those years, the Super Bowl kind of gives you a tipping point. Mm-hmm. You didn't walk off the field like you should have. Then you get hurt last year. Why is he dragging himself back out on the football field this year? I don't understand it.
Because he need that money.
I mean,
Oh
he
my God.
does seem to have an inordinate amount of daughters, right? And that's a whole bunch of weddings to play for. But dude, you can get this analyst money. As you can see, ESPN just fired everybody, which means they got a little bit of money to pay somebody that's got a reasonably undamaged face. You still have most of your faculties about you. You don't have, there's not a lot of bad things that people can say about you. You do good charity work. Like, dude, slide on into that broadcaster booth while you still can. Like, don't end up like Troy Aikman and take one hit too many and now you're just boring in the booth, right? Get out there while you can still be Romo in the booth. So we'll see. But
And the only reason I picked Kansas City is because the week they play the Chargers, their defense always seems to come out of nowhere. And so I needed those 2 weeks.
fair enough. Fair enough. Well, gentlemen, last question of the day is, besides your own team, because of course no one says that they really think that anyone will win besides themselves. Looking at the teams post-draft, which team do you think is the strongest and has the best chance of actually winning a title based on their post-draft team?
I'll let Calvin go first.
Let's see.
New co-host.
I think our co-host has something to say.
Oh, Jefferson gonna pick?
You got something to say, Jefferson? He running around here with balloons. I don't know why we have. You know what? Okay, so I looked at these rosters at work when I saw that question, and every one of it, like, no team just stood out to me. But I will say that I'm gonna have to go on my cousin's team because I like his starters, and his bench has a lot of what I consider upside players. If they stay healthy and they come to fruition like they could and should, I think he has a solid team that can make some noise this year. But the key word is, as we all know,
right?
That's what.
So let's see. Now, Super Mario Cristobalin's got a solid quarterback, good running back who's been doing the damn thing in Buffalo for a couple of years now. I like TJ Hawkinson. He's going to put up numbers. Brandon Cooks, I don't know what he's going to do in that system. But Keenan Allen is a baller. Bijan Robinson taking over at that RB1 spot in Atlanta. I can see that. All right. What about you,
And then
Dr.
when Mike Williams gets hurt, at least once a year, you got Quentin Johnson.
Yeah, but Keenan Allen himself has also been hurt just about the same clip the last couple of years. So it's really
You still got Quentin Johnson.
If one's healthy, which one is going to be healthy this week? So
exactly. Just pick one.
All right. What about you, Brother Mathis King?
I don't want to.
Like? You don't want to pick anybody else?
Because I don't like who I'm about to pick. So I want to refrain and abstain from selecting.
No. Oh, no. Now, you can't give us a build-up like that and not say it.
There's a lot of unknown variables with this individual freaking team. However, if the one player plays like we know he can play and the Colts let him play and tote the rock, I still don't know about that damn Jimmy G pick. That's the stupidest pick I ever freaking seen. But Tyler Boyd, Tyler Boyd's going to do something.
You talking about super picks?
Don't start with me. Tyler Boyd going to do something. DK Metcalf going to do something. Aaron Rodgers going to do something. Dave Davis is going to do something. Josh Jacobs going to do something. I hate this damn team. I freaking hate this damn team and everything they stand for. Everything their bootleg damn manager stands for. But on the outside looking in, minus the Cortland Sutton pick, I probably won't say that I like the post-draft pick of a one Debo devastating motherfucking Mark.
Well, I
So
appreciate that, brother. I
yeah, I
appreciate
don't.
that.
I don't.
Can we give Robert Caldwell a round of applause for being man
Grow?
enough to
Yes.
actually pick? For Grow, we're gonna give. I know that.
As
hurt
soon as I
deep
said
down
I didn't like this pick,
know it
Debo
did.
knew who the hell I was talking about.
No, I knew it was one of us. I just didn't know
Oh.
which one of us it was gonna be.
Now,
knew it
I
was
don't
one
have an
of us.
issue with Cowboys picks, but you're a Raiders fan, bro. You my boy. Don't get me wrong, but I hate you, man.
I mean, I wouldn't have it. I wouldn't have it any other way. So for me, I went with Company Man. For a few obvious reasons. Number one, my homeboy, right?
Mhm.
Like Mahomes is the standard in the league when it comes to quarterback play. Saquon Barkley, a resurgence, and he's playing for his business life when it comes to football. And again, when healthy, without a doubt, one of the best running backs in the NFL with ease. Alvin Kamara, of course, suspended. I think he's out 4 weeks.
Yeah.
But again, when he comes back, he's got a quarterback that loves to check the ball down, that loves to drop the ball into the flat. That's going to be to his advantage. And the same thing with Michael Thomas. Michael Thomas hasn't been healthy in 2 good years. If he is anything of the receiver that he was before, he's going to be a good target for Carr. So I think both of those are going to end up being good producers for him.
I think that Chuba Hubbard pick is going to be that sneaky one for him. I would have picked him had I had to pick that round, but because I did some trading, I ain't have to pick that round.
That's because somebody's got to run the ball. Mm-hmm. And right now, he's RB1 in Carolina. So somebody's going to get those goal line carries.
I thought RB1 was Miles Sanders.
Whatever the depth chart says, Chuba Hubbard is going to be he's going to get the bulk of the carries. Now, this pick at 129, Ashane, again, that's the local kid who's got a lot of speed. I don't know what that's going to, and he definitely can catch the ball out of the backfield. I don't know where they're going to fit him into that Miami offense this year. I think that pick is a bit of a stretch. Overall, these pieces are in some good offenses. So we'll see how that all works out. But other than that, we have 1 week and 1 day until this season kicks off and we get to see what this thing looks like.
And I start my championship run.
Hey, may the odds be ever in your favor.
The math says it is, so we'll see what happens.
Oh, the same math that taught you how to tell time? I hope not.
You know what, brother? You know what? You need to start putting things in Pacific time so I know what time is at.
Oh, there's a whole bunch of things that Arizona could do better. One of those is do better with the time.
No, we doing it right. We ain't never got to change. Y'all fools the one changing every twice a year like some freaking old heads. We don't do that no more. We got electricity. We don't need to change the damn time.
Well, sorry for the rest of the world if we don't get sun for 79 hours a day. Our bad. But all right, my brothers, have a good evening, and we'll see y'all soon again after week 1 to see which teams win and which teams should just hang it up after the first week of the season.
The first week.